Okay, because if I look up at the camera, I'm like, no, it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series, episode 31. Today we're here with Donna Harris with Total Wellness. How are you doing today, Donna?
Good, Terrace. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so glad to have you on. It's great. So we've been having some fun with technical stuff this afternoon, but we're here and um, as always, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us a little background on how you got to where you are.
Okay. So I wanted to be going way back to like 2007, I wanted to be a physician for alternative medicine. And so I started going to school for that. And I found out that I had a tethered spinal cord and a brain tumor. So that was an unexpected surprise. And
Yeah,
it all
stay
worked out,
still.
obviously, because I'm here. But that is actually where the whole journey started. I had never even heard of reflexology when that journey started. I was working for a doctor in Novi, a Dr. David Schindler. Um, I was working for him, and I started having a lot of issues with my legs, my back. To make a long story short, they thought I had MS, Parkinson's. It was a very bad situation. I woke up one day and I couldn't walk.
Mm,
So I went in for emergency surgery. They found out I had a bone going through my spine on top of the tethered spinal cord. What a tethered spinal cord is, because I know a lot of people might not know what that is. Your
yeah.
spine is supposed to like float in your spinal canal. Mine's stuck and it was pulling down the nerve endings. It's a childhood disease, so I was the first adult the surgeon ever did this on. So it was a very rare case.
Oh, wow.
I was in a wheelchair. I thought I'd be on disability the rest of my life. I never thought that I would be here, so I'm very thankful. So, in saying that, I had that, but I have a lot of neuropathy in my leg. I was walking with the cane. The pain was quite bad. I went to Dr. Schindler, who is very thankfully he has a holistic side to him.
Mhm.
So he had a reflexologist in his office.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I had already seen through him a hypnosis, actually through him, um, acupuncture, massage therapy, and I loved it all. So I said, sure, I'll try this reflexologist. So I went in and I walked in her office, and she worked on me, and I walked out without a cane. I never picked up that cane again. Now, I'm not saying I never had pain. I still have neuropathy. I still have issues I deal with every single day. But
Right.
here I am working. I'm not in a
Yeah.
wheelchair. So although I'm not perfect, it was amazing. And I knew when I couldn't finish, I decided not to go for, because between that and my son having Crohn's were a lot of things in between. And to
Right.
go for a doctorate, I thought, you know what, I want to do something alternative, but I just felt like I wanted to do something sooner than later. So I
Right.
decided reflexology was it. After being worked on by Ruth and the amazing things that she did for me, she introduced me to the school that she went to out in Okemos, and so after I did finish my bachelor's, I didn't want to not finish something I started. So I did go back to school. I finished my bachelor's in science for alternative medicine. Then I
Yeah.
went for a year in Okemos and did for the reflexology. And then I went back for the hands a year later. So I'm
That's awesome.
certified in those. And then I have I'm working on my master's for Reiki right now. I have the first certificate. So,
Oh, very cool.
so
That's a crazy story. You know, there's so many different avenues for what can be wrong and how to fix it, it seems like. And it's amazing to hear, you tried this, you tried that, you tried this, you tried that. And then just one instance of, meeting with somebody and you walked out a different person. That's
yes,
crazy.
miracle. Yeah.
And so then you got started, if I remember correctly, where was your first practice once you decided you were definitely going to open a reflexology
um,
treatment area?
I actually started out of my home, and I was lucky. I was working out of my home, and I was maybe there doing that for not even a year.
Hmm.
And I received a phone call from a friend at church, and her doctor was looking to bring people who did Reiki, reflexology, anything alternative medicine into his place of business. He's a pain management doctor in Allen Park,
Okay.
downriver. So she gave him my card. He called me, and we set up a time, and he actually came to my home, and I worked on him. That was my interview.
Yeah, your
So
interview. Yeah.
yeah, so I worked on him, and he called me that evening and asked if I join his office. So I was
That's
there for a
awesome.
year. Yeah. So I was there for a year, and I had a lot of clients. Some have, followed me out here, but it's over an hour drive for some people, 45
Right.
minutes over, depending on where they're coming from.
Depending on
But
the time of day, it can be even worse than that.
exactly,
I
exactly.
know where Allen Park is. You don't want to be driving past the
No,
airport at 5
I do
o'clock.
not miss that drive. I do
No,
not
I
miss
can
it
imagine.
at all.
So, and now we've got you right here in Chelsea, right on Main Street. You're above Artisan Knitworks.
Yes. Well,
Yep.
actually, I'm next to them. I'm above the Village Hair Salon.
Okay.
This is right next to me. Yes.
Yep. And people can
Um,
find your main entrance right on Main Street. And it's
yes.
very easy to find your main entrance because you just got an awesome new sign put up.
Yes. Yes.
I,
I'm very blessed.
yeah. I've always loved your logo, and now we got it up on the side of the building, and it just looks great.
Thank you so much. That was donated to me actually by my husband's work. Johnson Sign Company donated that. So
And where are they
very
located?
they have 3 locations. One's in Ypsilanti. It used to be the Huron Sign Company, and they have
Okay.
one in Jackson is their main location. I
Got you.
hate to do this, but the third, I always want to say Ann Arbor, but I don't know if I'm correct about that.
It's all
But
right. It's all right.
my husband works in the Ypsilanti one, so that's the one I always remember.
Gotcha. Yep. And I remember here on sign companies. That's cool. They must have they bought them out or whatnot. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
it pays to have connections, doesn't it? You got
Yeah.
your awesome sign there. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Well, so we talked a lot about your history and what brought you here, and everybody knows where you're at now. And I know we do not have time to go into reflexology to the extent that you could.
Right.
But if you could give us a sentence or two or an easy description to help people kind of understand.
Absolutely. And you're right. It's going to sound like a definition, but we're going to do the best we can here. So reflexology is a stimulation of the nerve endings beneath the tissues in our feet and hands. My job is to I'm going to try to explain this real quick. What happens is we have crystalline deposits that form at our nerve endings. And what happens is because our heart's flowing from our heart, the circulation gets to our hands and feet last.
Mm,
And that's what forms these deposits because of the circulation. And we also have uric acid coming from our kidneys. It forms this at the end of the nerve endings. And my job is to stimulate those to normalize and balance the functions of the body. I try to explain it as if you have a colon and it's blocked, it's going to be a problem until we unblock that colon.
right.
Well, my job is to unblock those nerve endings and get everything flowing how it should be. I
That's
hope
a
that.
pretty good. That's a pretty good quick answer. I feel like you got a lot in there. I mean, we get the gist. I'm sure, as you said, there's just so much more to it than that. But I know I talk to every single time we post something about you guys or something you're doing. I start seeing the comments start rolling in about like, oh my goodness, the change it's made. I've tried this, I tried that, and then I go there and it's instant gratification. And I know you probably don't like to use the phrase instant gratification because I'm sure it's more of a work in progress and a thing that needs to be done over time. But it does seem that people immediately, even in your own story, seem to find, a relief right after the very first time of doing it. And that's just something that I don't think you find in a lot of medical areas, and professions, if you will. So now you said that's a lot of it starts at the feet or whatnot, but you do quite a bit in the hands too. It's at both things, and it's really just applying pressure, and then that
um,
stimulates and releases.
it's called a thumb crawl technique. So it's more it's a hard thing to explain honestly, but I'm gonna try. I don't know if you can see me, but let's just
You can.
pretend this is my great toe, okay?
Yep.
So let's pretend, and that's actually my spine. And actually, I could be working on the hand. Let's pretend I'm working on the hand. I'm going to do it as best as I can, but it's like a thumb crawl, and I'm
Mhm.
going up the nerve endings, and I do that on the feet. And that's not the only technique we use with our hands, but that's probably that's the most common one. But
Sure.
it's a push, and it's like a reach in and reach out technique.
Gotcha.
And so it's not massage. I have a lot of people who confuse it. Once they see me, they get it, and they say, no, this is not. And they're both
Right.
great. They are different. Um, it's pretty amazing.
Well, you tend to be so, and I just wanted the last thing, and then I know I don't want to get stuck on this too long, but the last thing is as although you're working on the hands and feet, the relief that you feel from it is spread across the body. It can be for something that has, someone might think, well, I don't have any problems with my feet. My feet don't hurt. that's irrelevant. It could be a problem, as you said, with your spine, but releasing those nerve endings in those places can cause, a relief or a comfort in other ailments. And that's
Correct.
the part I think that I didn't realize in the first time I talked to you about it was it's not really about hands and feet. It's about the whole body.
Correct. Exactly.
That's very cool. Well, I appreciate you giving us a stripped down definition, and obviously, if people want more information on that, they can check out your website and your Facebook page. We put all that stuff up on the comments for people to research. I did want to touch base on a couple things in your space or whatnot. You do have some products and some gift cards for sale as well.
Yes. Yes, I do. I have gift cards. I have two gift cards. I have one with my little grandson's feet on them, and I like to brag because I'm a grandma, so we have to do
There
that.
you go.
And then I have one with my logo. I prefer the one with the feet, but I do have gift certificates, and there's no limit, and it's whatever you want to get it in. But they make great gifts. Christmas is coming. I do have really pretty Christmas. I have like 4 different with the nativity scene, snowmen. I have a lot of Christmas gift certificates ready.
Oh, cool.
So, and I just real quickly, if anybody is having a fundraiser or an event, I love to be involved. So I'd be more than happy to make some kind of basket or give a gift certificate. I've done it in the past. I've done it already here in Chelsea. So
That's great. That's great. And then I did want to touch on, I saw a post the other day, you had a product in that you've kind of working with farm suds.
yes, yes, it was actually Julie's idea. And I'm very thankful for that. I spend a lot of time with her here in Chelsea. I haven't as much because she's pretty busy in Jackson as well. But I do. I have lotions and oils, and Julie makes these for me exclusively for Total Wellness. So you can only get them here.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it's she's the oil expert. So I gave her what I wanted for specific things. And then I asked her to figure out which smells would go better because there might be 10 things that are good for inflammation, but you don't want all 10 of those scents mixed together. That's not going to
Right.
smell good. So
Yeah.
that's where Julie came in and made these. So I have
That's
them
awesome.
for inflammation, migraines, digestive, sleep, energy, immune system, which is great right now coming up, the immune system,
Yeah.
anxiety. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I do
Well,
have.
and that's every single time someone asks me why Chelsea is having new businesses and places aren't closing and we're surviving, and I always tell them that's the answer right there is that cooperation, that camaraderie between businesses. The fact that one business that maybe no one would have thought would have anything to do with the other, but there's always that common ground and there's that way to help each other and thrive. And that's such a great Chelsea thing, I swear.
I agree. And I can say most of my friends, and I can say friends, I can't believe how many friends I've made here in the year I've been here. But it's been wonderful because I'm not a store, I'm not retail, I'm not a restaurant. And a lot of that is here. So for a while, I sort of felt like, you're not quite sure where you fit in. And
Mm-hmm.
people here have went above and beyond to include me, including yourself. You've included me in things that I'm not retail and I'm not a restaurant, but
Right.
I'm part of it. And everybody's made me felt a part of it. So,
I can't think of a better segue there than right there. So I wanted to mention before we're done today, the Sweet Savor Saturdays, you are participating, and that's such a perfect example because you're not a restaurant, you're not a shop, but that's the beauty of that event and this community is that you are doing something for that. And maybe tell everybody what your Sweet Savor Saturday special is.
my sweet savory special is $20 off your first reflexology session.
There we
So,
go.
yeah, so $20 off, and I guarantee they they will be happy they did it.
I believe it. It seems like that's the consensus every time I hear someone talking about it. So
Thank you.
that's great. Well, and that's awesome. So, yep. So, if anybody has any interest or you want to get your toes wet, as the pun might say, you can check out her website, check out her Facebook, reach out on Saturday, catch that deal, and get that $20 off.
Yes.
And Donna, thank you so much for coming
Thank
coming
you.
by today and
Thank you for
talking
having
with
me,
us.
Chris. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. And thank you to Shasta Grifka and Grifka Marketing for sponsoring and facilitating. As always, we will see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thanks.